The Tattersalls Racing Club takes centre stage this weekend with the running of the final Group 1 of the Australian racing season, the Sky Racing Tattersalls Tiara. The meeting also sees the running of the TAB 2021 Battle of the Bush final. The favourite for the Sky Racing Tattersalls Tiara is Tiffany, the Stradbroke winner. She's trying to join Dane Ripper and Shrikandi as a winner of the Stradbroke and the Tatts Tiara. Her trainer Mike Moroney's been stuck in Melbourne for the best part of a month owing to the COVID restrictions. That's meant Mike has had to leave Lily Miller in charge of Tiffany. Lily's done all the riding on Tiffany, the gallops, and looked after her here in Brisbane, reporting back to Mike Moroney. We caught up with Lily this week and talked to her about her affection for Tiffany. Lily Miller, you've obviously been enjoying life in Queensland. You've been here a little while, but it's been worthwhile this time around.
It definitely has. It's been very exciting so far, and I've got another good weekend coming up.
Tell us a little about your relationship with Tiffany. It dates back to last year. You've been away with her a couple of times.
Yeah, so I actually remember the first week when I started at Mike. I hopped on a horse and rode out to him, and I had no idea who I was on. And he said, "Oh, you've accidentally been put on Tiffany." And I had no idea who she was, and he said, "She's going to be my next Group 1 horse." And that's all I knew of her, and that she pulled very hard. And so I didn't have much to do with her after that until I took her to Sydney, where she won the All Age. And it kind of just continued from there. I had a little bit to do with her back home, just keeping an eye on her. And then we were back on the road, and now we're here.
Did you concur with Mike's thoughts about her being a Group 1 horse that first time you rode her?
Well, he told me before I rode her, and afterwards all I knew was that she pulled very hard.
So from that first time you rode her there in Melbourne to what she's like to ride now, has she matured a lot and doesn't pull as hard now?
She definitely does. She's a lot more relaxed in her work, and I think you can notice that in her races to date.
Tell us about the relationship with her. Obviously going there last year, winning a Group 1 in Sydney, then 12 months on. You've been here quite a while now, as well before the BRC sprint. You must have developed a strong affection for her.
Yeah, she's a very quirky horse. She doesn't like many people, and she likes a circle quite small. And I think the more you surround yourself with her, the more you realise her little quirks of what she likes and what she doesn't, and she lets you know. So I feel like I know her very well now.
Been well documented that she was all set to be sold this year. She ran in the BRC sprint and she ran so well. They had a change of heart after that to press on to the Stradbroke. What were you thinking at the time?
Definitely hoping not to sell. She looked like she was peaking, and you could see it in her work. She was really bright as well. And I was so excited when she ran well in the sprint.
And from there to the Stradbroke, were you confident on Stradbroke Day?
I was very silently confident. Her work on the Tuesday was spot on. It couldn't have been any better. And just her demeanour going into the race, she had done everything right throughout the week. And even before the race, you know, she was kicking up her heels and playing around. But as soon as she went into the mounting yard, she was just focused on point.
Okay, well, it panned out that way. What was it like watching her get to the line that day?
I don't think I watched the last 50 metres. I was too nervous, but it was very exciting, especially for the owners. You know, they made the big call and it paid off for them. And
then being able to lead her in and knowing that all the work you'd done with her leading into that race must have been quite special.
Exactly, it was, but it was just a shame, you know, Mike wasn't there to celebrate as well, because that would have been a lot more special. When we were getting photos after the Stradbroke, they kept telling me to give her a kiss on the nose for a photo, and every time I leant in, she would pull back. And I told them she's not going to do it, like just move on.
You've obviously been relaying back all of the news from here and how she's been doing. So what's the reports been like in the week and a bit since the Stradbroke?
Well, she pulled up from the race really well. You know, she was into her feed. She was really free in her action. We put her saddle on her Tuesday, and it was like she hadn't even raced. It was a very good feeling.
All right, and hopefully Tiffany will be around for another season yet?
Yes, hopefully.
Oh, and she'll be the apple of your eye still?
She will.
The Battle of the Bush has been a great innovation. This year we've seen heats run all over Queensland ahead of the $200,000 final here at Eagle Farm on Saturday. The barrier draw was conducted in the city on Wednesday alongside the Tatts Tiara barrier draw. One of the leading contenders is Rather Salubrious, and Bernadette Cooper caught up with her trainer David Reynolds, who talked about the concept and what it means to country trainers.
David Reynolds gets off a little bit lightly. He's out of Dolby, so I feel as though perhaps you don't have to cover as many miles, but you're still doing plenty.
Yeah, we still do plenty. Like we travel, we do the bush, that's what we do, so that's a part of it, is travelling.
What is the general chit-chat about this race throughout the year?
It's massive for us country people. Now we have the other 2 races as well. With city racing and more trainers coming, we're getting pushed out further and further, so it really, really helps.
And so the qualifying process, do you find that you're planning your preparation for these horses around the qualifying process?
Yeah, we've started now for next year, buying horses now, and we have owners that we tell them if they want to qualify, they've got to buy them now. So it's too hard to try and rush them and qualify for those 5 qualifying runs. So, but yeah.
And surely that is a good spruik, actually, to get perhaps a better quality horse out to you in the country in order just to aim at that one race, worth $200,000 in the city.
Yeah, when you get a horse like Salubrious runs in the Country Cup, and then she can come back up in the Battle of the Bush and she can sort of do those. Probably can't sprint, that's probably her downfall, but yeah, that's, you've got to look for that versatility, and you've got to have a horse that can actually do that work that qualifies them. So
yeah, I'm loving the fact that Wendy Peel rides rather salubrious this weekend. I mean, we've got jockeys like Hugh Bowman and obviously all our naturally our city jockeys that are there every week. Tommy Berry's got a ride in it. So is it tempting to sort of swing the way of a big time jockey? Yeah,
I did have 3 calls for her, and I asked them if they could ride in Chinchilla in 3 weeks, and they sort of weren't available. Yeah, I know if I was in trouble and I needed a jockey in the bush, Wendy would answer my call, and, she's loyal to me, I'm loyal to who the people are loyal to me, so that's sort of the way I see it.
But we're back at Eagle Farm on Saturday, last Group 1 of the racing season for the Tattersalls Racing Club. It's a ripper, the Tiara, we'll get to it shortly, but I guess an unexpected draw card on Saturday is Incentivised. We get to see him one more time before he heads off south.
He looks some horse, he's beating middle distance horses by 9-10 lengths and looks to be doing effortlessly. He's a great prospect. I know eventually he's going to meet a lot better class than he's meeting here, but he's an exciting prospect.
First time he's meeting genuine good class opposition. He meets a Group 1 winner on Saturday, Mirage Dancer. Southern France has got some form, so it's another good.
Him?
No, not potting him, but I'm telling you, I'm not stepping up to take $1.35 either, because to me it's a different ball game altogether on Saturday.
It is. I'd agree with that. He's got to back up, but I think he'll get the price.
All right. Well, where are we going to get some money on Saturday?
Well, I'm going to concentrate on the big one, the Tatt's Tiara Group 1. I think Odium's the one here, the filly. I liked her run in the Dane Ripper. I thought she just peaked a little bit at the finish. She hadn't raced for a couple of months. Won the 1,000 guineas second in the Empire Rose, both at Group 1. So I think that's a good form line here. It's a tough Tiara.
You like the stat with the 3-year-old fillies there, don't you?
Yeah, 15 out of 31 have been successful. Not so much in recent times, but when this race was first initiated, the 3-year-olds dominated. Back to the 3-year-old Odium in the Tiara.
Okay, so Mick Price has already had Ayrton win a feature here, so you're tipping him to go out a winner here in the Tiara. What else on the card?
I think in the Healy away game has a good chance. Again, worried about the draw, but she's got the pace to get over it. Uzmanov from the 2-gate probably kicks up, but they got to ride him conservatively to get the trip. So I think away game can get up into a good slot. And I liked her run first up in the Hinkler. She had to do a little bit of work, and I think she'd be fitted this time. And the second up record's good.
Is that it, or one
race
more?
3, Kingston's here. I don't like the price, and I just think he's up in grade, but he's down in weight, drops 5 kilos to 54. One thing I like about this horse, a couple of times he's put in really good sectionals. He's got good gate speed, he can get himself into a position, but he was home in sub 34 when he won first up.
He certainly demolished them there at the Gold Coast, that's for sure.
Short price though.
Yeah, this Tattersalls Day is always a great way to finish off the Group 1 season in Australia. No exception on Saturday, so we wish the Tattersalls Racing Club the best for good fortune here on Saturday.
I think the punters should be incentivised to come to Eagle Farm. The last time we'll see incentivised here for some time, I would suggest.